If you're here, there's a good chance that you're somewhere in your story that you never expected to be. Maybe you're sitting on the floor wondering, how am I going to get up? And maybe you're lying there awake at 3 in the morning, replaying everything that happened. Maybe you're angry, maybe you're heartbroken, and maybe you're completely exhausted. Maybe you're asking yourself, how am I ever going to be okay? Well, you're in the right place, because I remember feeling all those things. I've been there more than once. I lived through 26 years of marriage. I lived through betrayal and cheating for multiple times and several years. I lived through trying to put my family back together, and I lived through the unimaginable death of my third son from cancer. And there were seasons when I honestly didn't know if I would be able to get up. The pain was so heavy, it felt like it pinned me to the floor. I know what it feels like to have your whole life change right while you're standing right in the middle of it. I know what it feels like to look in the mirror and wonder, who am I now? And I know what it feels like to wonder if happiness is ever going to feel real again. There was a moment when I literally was laying on the floor, pinned down by pain, wondering, hoping and begging that I would make it out of here. And somewhere in the middle of that pain, I made a promise. And I said to myself, if I ever get out of here, I'll tell everyone you can. And so that's what I'm doing now. I want to help women just like you who are stuck in the pain, who have no idea how they are going to get out, who have no idea if they will get out. And then you may wonder, is there even life after this? And there is. And it's a good life. But right now, if you're in the middle of it, you may not be able to see that. In 2020, I started a journey. I studied, I trained, I learned, I invested, I tried more things, I learned more techniques, modalities. I've studied and have multiple coaching certifications. I've done NLP, I've done MAP, I've done emotional work, mind mapping, transformation techniques, tools, tips, tricks, and modalities that I can't even count. And here's the thing, I took the longest way around. But that's okay, because I learned ways that I can help you get there faster than I did. I didn't rush through, and I didn't figure everything out in 30 days or even 30 months. It took me a while. I didn't wake up one day just magically healed or better. I took the long road. I stumbled. I started things and shut them down. I had breakthroughs. I had setbacks. And I thought, maybe I'm not ready. And then I would take another step and another step. But here's the gift of taking the long way. I learned a lot. I learned what helped. I learned what didn't help. I learned what women need when they're hurting. And when we stay stuck, I learned how easy it is to get in the trap and feel like we're never going to get out. I know what it's like to ask questions constantly inside our mind with no answers. I learned patterns, and I learned that you do not have to stay stuck forever. Because while I took the long way around, you don't have to spend years trying to figure things out. You don't have to wonder, will I get out of here? And you don't have to wander around wondering what to do next. You don't have to do this alone. And you don't have to stay stuck in old patterns. You can become the woman you didn't even know you wanted to be, because now you're not supposed to go back. You're supposed to go forward. Maybe there's a version of you that you haven't even met yet. That's what happily even after is all about. Not pretending that bad things didn't happen, not minimizing your pain, and not thinking, I just need to move on. I'm definitely not telling you you should be over it by now. It's about learning how to take everything that happened and creating a life where you trust yourself again, a life where you laugh again, and a life where you make plans again, a life where you wake up excited about what's ahead instead of being consumed by what's behind. It's a life where your story becomes something you lived through rather than something that defines you. And I want you to know something before we go any further. I'm not standing at the top of a mountain shouting instruction down at you. Oh no. I've been down in the valley. I have been in the muck. I've cried on the floor, and I've wondered, how am I going to get back up? And I've gotten back up over and over again. And that's why I'm here, because I made that promise and I intend to keep it. So if you're joining this community because you're hurting, I'm glad you're here. And if you're joined because you're finally ready to stop surviving, I'm glad you're here. And if you're ready to start living your best life, I'm glad you're here. And if you're not even sure you want any of that, I'm glad you're here. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to be willing to take the next step. I'll meet you there. And together we'll figure out the next step and the one after that. Because I've learned something that I wish every woman knew. Your life can be beautiful again. Not the life you had. Not the life you thought you were going to have. Something different. Something deeper. Something that belongs completely to you. Because I can show you how to live happily, even after all the heartbreak, all the pain, the divorce, the long nights, days, weeks, and months of crying on the floor. I'm happy you're here. And now you can start learning how to live happily, even after.